everybody's incarnated here on earth to do something specific. And I'm not talking necessarily just a service that someone's supposed to do or like a job. I'm talking about there's a specific way that each of us act that is our true authentic frequency. But the thing is that being incarnated in this world really interferes with that frequency just by default of being here, because we exist on multiple planes of frequency. We're living a 3D experience while also living a 4D experience and a 5D experience. And our 5D self knows what is authentic for our 3D experience. But by sifting through the contrast of the material world, because we live in duality here in the 3D, the mind tends to focus on the negative part of that contrast, or what it perceives to be the negative part of that contrast. And that is the biggest interference that any individual experiences. But every shadow has its lesson that it's attempting to teach us. And the lesson of interference, of your authenticity, is teamwork. If you can't find people to work in harmony with, then you have to start by working well with yourself, because everybody's a reflection of the self. All experiences that we have are a reflection of ourself. So when you start to work with yourself through the interference, because the interference is never, it never leaves, it's just part of life, that's when you really truly get into your core frequency, your true authentic self. And you start to play your part of doing what you're here to do, regardless of what others are here to do, or regardless of what others are doing. And when you get into that frequency, that's when you really start to attract other people who are in resonance. And it's like you all work together to play your part in the orchestra of the universe. And the thing that is the quintessence of this energy is that realization that things are never perfect, that in some sense things are always breaking down. Again, it's just part of life. It is that interference. But that means that there's always a fresh start. There's always newness that's being born. It's the lesson of death and rebirth. We fear death more than anything. And that may be the biggest interference in human existence. But wouldn't you agree that every birth is beautiful? Think about the last time you've held a newborn baby in your arms. You weren't thinking about the pain that the mother just went through. although you have empathy for it. It was a process that needed to happen in order for this beauty to manifest. But we also all have something that we're here to do, to provide value to the world in a way that we receive money. And for me, like, the service that I'm offering is really just conflict resolution. Because of everything that I just previously said, we tend to get into conflicts with ourselves, with people in our lives, and with the universe in general. It's just part of the entropy, part of the interference. But like all shadows, this is teaching the lesson of the gift of diplomacy. Diplomacy is when you know what you need and you know what the other person needs, and you have a responsibility to come together with these people and find a way to make sure that everybody's needs are met. That is the start of conflict resolution. But through the lesson of diplomacy, peace is revealed. Because if you could understand what someone needs, regardless of your own needs, and I don't mean putting your needs aside, meaning we lose track of what other people need when we're so hyper focused on what we need. But when you become aware of the needs of others and how they relate to your own needs, and don't self-abandon your own needs, you find a way to come together in a way where everybody wins. That really produces a sense of peace in your life. And I've explored this lesson deeply, and this is why I've decided when I incarnated that what I'm gonna sell is peace. So this is how it relates to the world. When you learn how to play your own part and you get peace, you tap into a deep reservoir of wisdom. An endless well. And from the human perspective, it's so overwhelming that it makes you feel, it's not just that it makes you feel, you realize your inadequacy in regards to the amount of wisdom that comes in when you just get into alignment. And then that transfers into relationships again. Other people feel the same way when they get a glimpse of the wisdom that you get access to when you get this level of peace and authenticity. But again, there's a lesson in that. You really learn how to be resourceful when you feel inadequate. You start to optimize your life in a way that allows you to become more capable. And through doing that, you tap into this boundless energy of the universe that is the essence of your nature. And you become a hub, a beacon of this light to anchor the transmission in for the rest of the collective. And that's what we're all here to do. Your individual journey will look different than mine. But it doesn't mean that anybody is greater or lesser than anybody else. It means that we're all sovereign. We're all divinely led. And together, we form a synarchy, a form of governance where there is no central ruler. The ruler is the group intelligence and the natural law of the universe. So, I encourage you to follow the thread of your own destiny and deeply contemplate what you're here to do, because you have no idea what the result of that will be and how it will change your life 5 years from now. Hell, even a month from now, 2 weeks. You could completely reprogram your genome. You're on the brink of something incredible, a whole new way of looking at the world. It will feel like a whole new plane of existence.